friends. Welcome back to the Golf Unfiltered mini-series, Memoirs from Magnolia Lane. My name is Nikki Dunnigan, and I am so glad that you're here with us. We are once again celebrating the first major of the year, and clearly my favorite major of the year, by bringing you stories and traditions surrounding the most sacred tournament from the patron point of view. Just a quick little disclaimer that this podcast is in no way affiliated with, nor are we sponsored by Augusta National Golf Club, the Masters Tournament, or any of its affiliates. Always like to throw that in there as a little reminder. But I am so excited to introduce you to our guest today, an NCAA athlete on the women's golf team at the University of Arkansas, where she majored in broadcast journalism, then went on to work as both a news anchor and a reporter for Fox, then on the digital team for NBC's Golf Channel. She currently owns her own digital marketing agency and is a co-host of the Playing Around with Paige podcast with Paige Spiranak. I am honored to introduce you to one of my favorite people to send the absolutely unhinged and maniac text messages to all the time. My dear friend, Samantha Marks. How are you today, Sam?
What an intro, Nikki. That was fantastic. I'm so good. I'm so excited. I feel like this is really the kickoff to when people are starting to talk about the Masters, after match play. So I'm super excited getting me all in the Masters mood on this happy, fine day of the week. How are you?
I'm good. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I feel like we get through match play, and then it's like, okay, it's happening. We're in Masters week, and there's rumbling starting to happen, and I feel like no one talks about the Valero. No one cares that it's happening because it's just the break between everything else and then Masters week. So yeah, it's exciting. So before we jump into this, I want to ask you the question that we start every one of these episodes with. What makes the Masters a tradition unlike any other to you?
That's a hard question. I feel like there's
it's loaded.
It's loaded for sure. I think for me, what has always shown its importance about the Masters and about Augusta National is the way that it unites everyone across all sports. When it becomes, the week or the 2 weeks before, in this case, before the Masters, there's rumblings about it across Twitter, not just golf Twitter. And that's what I think is really cool, is seeing other professional athletes, other commentators from other sports, major broadcast networks starting to get excited about a golf tournament. And it's our first major of the year, obviously, as golf fans. And so to not only have golf Twitter and our somewhat small community care about it, but to have the whole sports world and even outside of the sporting world to care about it is something that I think is unwavering. And I think it's only going to continue to grow from here. And that's what I think. I always look forward to this week and the beginning of next week, when that's really going to be on display.
Such a good point too, because it's like, even during March Madness last week, you had, obviously it's Jim Nantz on the broadcast and he does the Masters, but he starts talking about the Masters tournament, and then you see everybody start talking about it on Twitter and like, oh yeah, that's coming up. I can't wait. But it's like you said, it's not just the golf fans who are talking about it. It's everyone who's talking about it. It's the basketball fans. It's everyone going, oh yeah. And, you see the coming in April commercials, and, we both live in the South. And so we live closer to Augusta, and we see a lot of people with their Masters gear. And we see a lot of people who probably attend the tournament more often living closer to it. And so I think that makes it a little more exciting for us too. The fact that we're a little bit closer to that area, and it makes it, I don't know, just like you said, it's universal, like, I don't know, is the Olympics maybe the only other thing that like stretches across that?
Maybe the Super Bowl, but even then, like, it's not, I don't feel like it's as big of a lead up, because you don't know, like, really who's going to play in it until the last minute. And like, I don't know. I just feel like there's so many storylines in golf, period, because you have so many people to follow and so many different like events week to week, which is a whole other conversation. But I think it's just, it's a really special week in sports that everyone gets up for. Not to mention, obviously, we've talked about this before, but the masters.com digital product is
Oh my
incredible.
God. Yeah.
And I always look forward to seeing how it's going to improve every year. I know they have a new feature coming out this year, and I'm excited to see that. So I just think there's a lot of rumblings about it. And I feel like our little Twitter golf community is it feels small because we see the same names pop up on our timeline all the time, but it grows every year around this time. And I think that that's really special.
Yeah, that's such a good point too. And even with the Super Bowl, like you said, we don't know who's playing, but there's a lot of people who they don't care about football, but they go to like watch the halftime show or something. But with the Masters, there are people who don't watch golf, but they will still sit down and watch. There's not a halftime show with like the Masters, and like it's not like they're, oh well, I'm gonna watch the Masters, but I'm only watching it for Rihanna. Like they're still watching the sport. Whereas like with the Super Bowl, it's not like they're watching the sport, you know? So I
Yep.
think that's such a big difference. Like there are people who are caring about golf for the first time, you know, and people I know for a fact do not care about golf at all. And I'll see them be like, wow, it was so great to see Scotty win. Great job. And it's like, do you even know what a birdie is, you know, like that I think is pretty cool. So, and to your point too, the access that the Masters gives to people to be able to watch the whole thing on their website is pretty cool. Actually, Augusta just announced that they are going to be doing something called Watch Party this year, where you can actually I guess I haven't looked that much into it, to be honest, but I'm assuming it's similar to how like Disney Plus does their kind of watch party where you can watch together with like your friends and family, which that actually might be kind of cool. Doing like I guess taking their inspiration from COVID and like Zoom parties where you would watch movies together and stuff. I don't know. But speaking of COVID, actually, I did want to talk to you about your experience going to the Masters. One of the reasons that I had you on here is because you actually went to the tournament during a COVID year. And I wanted to see kind of what was your experience like, because it was, well, it wasn't the 2020 COVID year, it was 2021, which was still technically a COVID year, and tickets were really limited that year. How was that experience, I guess, compared to, you know, when you see those crowds on TV, you know, normally, or even the year after, they're massive. What was that experience like being so limited? And how was that? Did you feel like you didn't get the true Masters experience? Was there still Masters magic, even though there wasn't like as many people around? You know, what was that experience like for you?
So it was my parents' first time, and we happened to get tickets through my parents' friend, who is a rules official for the Masters and then other US or USGA events as well. But she works at the Masters every year as a rules official, and there was so much hype leading up to it in our family alone because it was going to be their first time. I went back in 2010. I don't even remember yesterday. So like, I'm not going to say I remember it in 2010, but like, I kind of don't. I was like 15 or 16. Yeah. And it was just, you know, you're so young. You don't even, I played golf at the time, but I didn't have the same appreciation that I do for it now. And so it really felt like a first time for me because I was going with my parents, my family, you know, and then my boyfriend at the time, which RIP. And it was incredible. So like you always hear about Augusta, and obviously, you know, but how there's nothing to really do there. It's kind of like a boring little sleepy town. And we stayed at the Wingate Hotel right there on the main strip right there, right off the interstate. And it was like $200 something a night. It like just felt like we were going on any other vacation. It wasn't like outrageous prices. There weren't like big crowds anywhere.
That is an outrageous price though, because normally that hotel is probably like $49 a night.
Oh, true. Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Well, on the contrast, I went to look at the same hotel and it says, get a quote right now.
Yeah, so they're not even like listing normal prices.
I would like to think $200 is probably cheap in comparison to what they're charging this year.
Yeah.
But we walked to the tournament, which was about a mile. And as you know, there's like no sidewalks really. So you're just like walking on the grass and on the street, trying not to get hit. And it was just a really surreal experience. There weren't like bustles of people everywhere. It was, you could walk easily, which I went to the waste management this year. Holy shit. Like that was like not fun. And you know me, like I don't really love watching golf in person to begin with. And so it really made the experience completely 100,000 times better because you could actually see things without like running 3 holes ahead and waiting for someone or, you know, just really trying to sneak into the crowd. That's not like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I don't love any golfer enough to do that. Yeah. And so it was just a really special experience to be able to see that with my family and have it be like, I look back at pictures now and I'm like, oh, there's like no one there. Like, and it was really, really cool. I feel like we couldn't have chosen a better year. I mean, I obviously know COVID came with a high price tag, but for, you know, what it gave to everybody who attended in 2021, it was a once in a lifetime experience. Seriously.
What was the like the pro shop like? Because that's one of the things when there are so many people there, like you walk in and it's like this walking around. And like I saw a picture the other day where somebody posted it was from Augusta and from the Masters, like their picture of the pro shop and just empty, saying, you know, like, oh, you know, we're excited to bring the fans back. And for the first time ever, I noticed the floors like of the pro shop and how like the wood grain in the floor and how they did the boards on the floor. Like they're at this like cool angle and everything. And I was like, I don't think I've ever seen the floors in there because there's just so many people. Yeah. Okay. Yes, exactly. Like I've never seen that floor because there's just never, there's too many people for you to actually like look ahead of you and see any floor. You just only see people. That's it.
Yeah, it was really crazy. I look back on these photos and it feels like I was there like the Monday after or something when like no one was going to be there. Like, have you ever seen this photo with no one in it?
That is crazy to me right there. Like the scoreboard and having just no one. Like there's
this was a busy moment when I took a photo. That was about how many people you would see walking around at any given time.
And yeah, for those of you listening and not watching on YouTube, there's like maybe 30 people in front of that scoreboard right there. Like that, which is not a lot of people in front of that main scoreboard. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it made for a special experience as we, you know, if you're going to go for a second or third time, yeah, okay, it's pretty cool. You get to have more access. But for us, I like to say it was my first time, even though it wasn't. But we went on Tuesday and Wednesday, and it was just, it made you feel like you were there, like on a like special access visit, even though it wasn't. That was just the case that year. So yeah, I don't know how else to explain it other than like I look back at these photos and I'm like, did I Photoshop these people out? Like, where is everyone? It's really cool. It was really cool.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, so I do have to ask your sandwich opinion, pimento cheese, egg salad, or are you off the book? Are you one of the like club sandwich, ham and cheese on rye girlies? Like,
so I love egg salad. Like just historically, I love egg salad. So if it was up to me on a regular day, I would probably get the egg salad. I'd never had pimento cheese before I ordered it for the 2019 Taste of the Masters or whatever the Taste of the Masters was before that. And so like, it's okay. It's really good, but I think it's nothing to do with the pimento cheese at the Masters. I think it's just that I don't love just eating a cheese sandwich. So, I did do the mix one time, like half egg salad, half pimento cheese. And that was really good. My parents stuck with the, you know, turkey sandwich or ham on rye. So otherwise, I mean, the beer was really good. The Crow's Nest beer was incredible. So highly recommend that. And yeah, I would say that was my go-to sandwich.
Yeah, those are good. I think like people who just don't like pimento cheese in general, they're definitely not going to like Augusta's pimento cheese. Augusta puts a lot of pimento cheese on the sandwich. So for a sandwich that has already really soft white bread and then there's a lot of pimento cheese on it, it's like it's a lot for a sandwich, like at one time. Like
You have a hack for that.
You get, oh yes. So pro tip, yes. If you want the pimento cheese sandwich and like if you like pimento cheese, but you're like, oh, this is a little bit much, get the pimento cheese sandwich and then get a bag of like regular potato chips. Open up your sandwich, scoop the pimento cheese off with a chip. Like just eat it with a chip like it's an appetizer. Close your sandwich bag, then eat it, and it just has like a little less of a layer. Like it's great. Or just do the Taste of the Masters and at home, and you can put your own like ratio to bread, and it's much better.
That's a pro tip if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, it's pretty good. They used to have like certain crackers that were a little bit thicker you could do that with, but the chips hold up. There's just enough salt to them that it's worth doing. So
love that.
Yeah. Well, before we let you go, I do want to ask, so on your show, Playing Around with Paige, where you're one of the co-hosts, you guys always have this segment called I Said What I Said, where you guys very unapologetically, you say what you said, you dive into a hot topic, and you give one of your very, very strong opinions on it, and you do not apologize for it because like you said what you said. And so I'm curious, do you have any opinions that you're going to say what you said about Augusta or the Masters or this upcoming tournament?
I have two. One is personal to me and one is in general. Personal to me would be that if I never got the opportunity to go back after 2021, I would be completely okay with that. Okay. Number two, more generally, would be I have way more interest in going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday than I do going Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to the Masters. I don't like watching golf in person in general. And I think the not having a phone part and not really being able to see, I know the leaderboards are up there, but like it's hard to watch golf in person. And I can imagine when it's full ticketed event, like it's going to be, from here forward and not a COVID year, it would be hard to walk around. And I would much rather go, if you have the opportunity, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can take a camera, you can, have that experience and have it be a little bit less stressful than having to watch golf rounds. So those would be my two hot takes.
I will agree with you on that a little bit. We grew up going only on tournament days, and I loved that forever until I finally got to go on a practice round day, and I was like, okay, I kind of like this. Like it's a little more relaxed. Like you're not as stressed about like, but if I don't make it to this hole by this time, I'm not going to see this person, and like you said, I don't have my phone to check like, oh, but this is their tee time. This is and you have the sheets, but I don't have like a constant feed of where is so-and-so, where is so-and-so. I'm just having to like guess by, oh, well, I heard this massive roar back here. I think that sounds like it's about 11. So Tiger's probably around 11. That means we need to head to 16 if we're going to be there by the time he gets there, before the crowd gets there. Like I'm having to do math in my head, and that's too much for me. That's a little bit stressful. So like I agree with you on that. And like you said, you get to bring a camera and have those memories. I don't have any photos from growing up as a kid because we only went on tournament days when you couldn't take a photo, and they didn't start doing the founder circle photo until I was grown. So like, there's no evidence of me being there as a kid.
Was she really even there?
I know, right? Did she make all this up? Yeah. So I will agree with you on that. I will say though, if you are there on a tournament day, Thursday, Friday, in my opinion, is better than the Saturday, Sunday. So I don't know. My like hot take, my I said what I said, is way less, is way more niche than that. I think, I think, and yeah, you're going to laugh at this because it has to do with Jordan Spieth. I think that Augusta National should let them wear their hats in the jacket ceremony if they want to, because or at least have like a stylist on hand, like for, because most of these guys, they come right off the course and then they go to like Butler's cabin where they like put it on, and then they go out to the green, and then they do the whole thing, and like most of them at least run a hairbrush through it, and that's fine. But like and it's less about the guys who need just like a hairbrush. It's more about the guys who have like the forehead tan line that is like forever like cemented in their ceremony, green jacket ceremony photos forever. Like maybe if they want to like put the hat back on for the picture, just, let them do it. Let them do it. I don't think.
Yeah. I think it's a really good take. I mean, they don't let them have them on in the clubhouses either, right? So that's probably like, it's just when you're inside, like under a roof, that's a problem, I guess. For me, it's the tan line, but it's also, well, Jordan Spieth doesn't really have hair to brush, but it's also the like indentation of the hat. So like when I go out and play golf, like I wear my hat pretty tight. Like, I don't know, I don't want it to come off. I don't want to be worrying about it. And then when I go take it off to go inside to lunch or something, I'm like, gee, I look so awful. Like, and there's no way to go around it. So I'll try to like bring a headband or like something, but there's nothing. Yeah, those photos are tough. Imagine if Sink won the Masters right now.
Yeah. No, that
pole in the back.
Like when Cam Smith was like in contention last year, all I could think about was one, like that mullet blowing in the wind, like with that green jacket, but also how sweaty it was going to be from like here up, and just how flat and like squished it was going to be under that hat. And then when he took that hat off, like were they going to brush it? Was there going to be like a blow dryer back there? He could like at least air it out before, like, I don't know. That and every other, I mean, I literally watched Sam Burns. He got to wear his hat holding up the little silver trophy or crystal trophy the other day. So why can't they wear it when they're putting their green jacket on? I don't know. I just think
it goes back to like Sam was outside, right?
Well, okay, so maybe not when they're in Butler cabin doing the little like conversation, but they go back out to the green to put the jacket on when they're standing there with all the members. Like, let them put the hat back on if they want to. I don't know if that's a personal decision or if that's an Augusta decision or if they just don't. I don't know, but
it may be that they took it off and then just kept it off.
Maybe. I don't know, but like.
This is a good take though. I agree with you on this one.
Yeah. Maybe it's more of like, maybe one of their wives needs to be like, put the hat back on. Put it on.
Well, we'll see whose wife is going to be.
Yeah.
This year. I hope it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And we are so looking forward to the Masters this year. One final question. Who's your pick? Who do you think is going to take it?
Meredith Scheffler.
Meredith Scheffler. Yeah. I'm with you on that. Yeah. It's hard to not go that direction. So yeah.
Yeah. If we're going like not stock pick, I would maybe go Max Homa, but I still think that's a good pick as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with you on that too. I know. I think like if we're just going like in a Masters pool, I don't know that I'd pick him to go an outright winner, but like Cam Young is looking pretty strong. Like if you take him in a pool of like different tiers, he's looking pretty decent. I don't know that I'd take him for an outright winner though, but I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
Yep. All right. Where can people find you and follow you?
At Samantha S. Marks. And then, we host the Playing Around podcast with Paige kind of every week. Depends on what's going on. But we kind of do a lot of the same stuff that Nikki and the GU team are doing. So we love cross-pollinating like this. It's really fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, be sure to go follow Sam on all of her platforms and be sure to go give them a listen and a follow They have manifested they're going to be the number one podcast in the world. So hopefully we'll be following right behind them. And be sure to give them a follow and keep listening to us as we bring you more episodes of Memoirs from Magnolia Lane during Masters Week this week. And be sure to give us a follow if you are not. And also, you can continue voting for us for the best golf sports podcast through April 6th. So that is through Thursday, through Masters Week. And we will be back with you again soon. Thanks for listening.